Hey everyone, welcome to Red Men TV. This is the Uncensored match build-up show. Yes, Liverpool versus Brighton, Anfield, 3 o'clock. I'm Steve Hood, joined by Luke Fury and by Sam Walker. To preview it all, part 1, we'll have a little look at Brighton. Part 2, we'll be looking at the Reds and the absolute calm that is surrounding the football club at the moment. That might not be true. So yeah, lads, thanks very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Quickly, guys, dead simple on this, Luke, but like, Brighton have always been a team we've found it difficult to play against. You know, it's never been easy. We haven't really battered Brighton too many times in the recent past. But then the flip side is Brighton currently aren't playing really the style of play that's kind of been hitting Liverpool. And the teams who have actually played footy against Liverpool, it hasn't always been easy for us, but more often than not, we've done okay again. So I haven't quite figured out if this is a good opponent or a bad opponent for us this year. What's your general sense?
I think it's a fair test, in my opinion. You know, they've got better form than us over the last 5, and yeah, they're not playing sort of that attacking style. But to be honest, you probably associate with Brighton over the last couple of years. It seems to be slightly different. So I would argue it's a fair test. It's probably going to be, I would like to say, with the pace of the game, it might be a little bit more of a test than Inter Milan, even though the calibre of opponents, I'd argue are miles apart. But in terms of style of play, I'd like to say it's going to be more of a test in that game. Just, you'd expect it's going to be with quite a lot of pace and not be so slow. But yeah, to be honest, I'm quite looking forward to it. It's 3 o'clock, it's not on the telly, should be a good atmosphere in there.
What do you think, Sam? Because again, if this was a team, a yard dog team, a little bit with lack of better phrase, we'd be thinking, oh, they've done us issues before. But like, I go back to it, it's never really been that easy against Brighton. Their place has been quite difficult. Even at Anfield, it's been like usually by the odd goal, or you know, I remember that mad comeback where we had to come from 1 down and score 2 in a few minutes. Like it's never been easy against these.
No, not at all. I think they seem to score really good goals against us. Like Welbeck's volley at the edge of the box. They've had some crackers. I mean, that lad scored when we drew 2-2 against them. I think we went 2-0 up a few years ago and Klopp was still in charge. And someone scored a goal. He never scored a goal after that ever again. Whacked it from like 40 yards. I can't remember who it was yet. There was the game when Alisson got sent off. We were 2-0 up and they scored a free kick when the ref didn't tell anybody if it was it was all a bit mad, wasn't it? So we seem to have mad games against them. I think looking at their game against United this year, the Brighton that we all know and love, to be fair, they're a good side to watch and enjoyable. I thought they'd go there and just run rings around United. They never. They made loads of naive mistakes, and so I think for us, so we're not playing a team that's going to pack 11 lads behind the ball all game. We've got to be on it. We should be more confident than we have been. I think like Luke says, it's a fair test. It'll challenge us in ways we haven't been challenged in Italy, but by the same token, they're far better defenders over in Milan than they will be playing out on Anfield.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like the last 2 games at Anfield, we've won 2-1 before that. It was the mad 3-0 at their place. Obviously, Liverpool lost. I mean, last year doesn't really matter because everyone was party time down at the Amex. But then we beat them in the League Cup, and I'm just looking at it, there's a couple of draws, so it's never been easy against these. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I do think like the style of play thing, they're good at it, but I don't think it's going to hurt Liverpool too much, Luke, in terms like they're not really going to be playing long balls up to Danny Welbeck and playing off, and that isn't their style. They will try and play through the lines. They've got pace on the wings, whoever plays. And they're going to try and play Liverpool at their game, really, and they're quite good at it as well, to be fair. Yeah,
to be fair, I was looking earlier, just doing a little. You got to do a bit of research, what I call it, even though Chloe always says, "Oh, I'm not doing nothing. I know everything." I don't. And they've been playing Kadioglu out on the left, and he sort of plays right back, left mid, right mid. He's a bit like their James Milner, and the fella just seems to be like he seems to be starting.
Yeah, I've got James Milner as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got both. They've literally got him. He's injured at the minute, isn't he?
I think he might be back. I think he's.
It'd be nice to see him back, wouldn't it? To be honest, as long as he doesn't do anything. You know, it's going to hurt us.
Scored a pen.
But yeah, he seems to start a lot of their moves, but if you look at a sort of GA return, it's 0 in both, but the fella's played every game, and you're like, so you must be doing something all right with you. But then when you look back, he tends to start a lot of the passing moves and waves, and the fella actually got a goal as well at Anfield last season, so he's definitely one to watch out for on that Brighton side. And obviously you touched on Welbeck there, and Welbeck's outperforming his XG massively. He's got more goals than Ekitike in the league, and he's got the best goal conversion record, 2% more than Haaland.
7
to shots, that is. You know what I mean?
He's on a massive purple patch.
7 goals he scored. Like I say, there was talk of England recalls and things like that.
He's 35, isn't he?
He's getting on, but he's still performing. The interesting thing, looking at their results, Sam, and it's not a little bit Liverpool-esque in this result. Like you just don't know what you're going to get from Brighton. I'm just looking back since the start of November, pretty much. They beat Leeds, draw with Palace, beat Brentford, beat Forest, so they're doing all right, and then they get beat by Villa 4-3 at home. Then they draw against West Ham, and by the way, that was a last-minute equaliser at home. But actually, away from home, they've been a little bit better, which again goes to show like they are a bit inconsistent. Like you don't really. You mentioned before, I watched them against that Man United game, and they were poor. But then you watch them against Leeds, and I thought they were excellent. So you just don't know what you're going to get from them, and they are quite inconsistent. But they have got high quality players still.
Yeah, they're a funny team because if you look at, I keep hearing Slot talk about how teams play differently against Liverpool. But the thing is, Brighton are one of those sides where if you're Leeds or you're West Ham or you're Brentford, you won't necessarily go into that game and think, I'm going to give this team maximum respect because they are a top side. So they'll probably play their own game against Brighton quite a lot, backing themselves to deliver the game plan. But then Brighton are obviously very brave on the ball. They play the ball through the lines. They've got players with some pace in the team. I know Mitoma hasn't been as prevalent of late, but he's a good player and always causes us problems. So I think what happens then is you kind of get done by your own bravery against a side that has to play good football. I mean, they were 2-0 up at home to Villa as well, weren't they? And like, I know we've thrown some results away this year, but they're not at home being 2-0 up and then not winning and then losing 4-3. I think that's a bit wild.
Yeah.
And as Luke said before, it could be a more difficult game in some respects, but I think for us we'll get a lot more opportunities in this game because their defence isn't watertight. They will be brave on the ball. They play that ball out from the back a lot. However, they do win the ball in the final third more than anybody else.
Yeah, they're great at that. On their injuries, by the way, so for what it's worth, they lost Timas, is it the striker? They on his knee. He's number 9, he's out for the season, unfortunately. But you mentioned both years before, Mitoma and Milner, both potentially back. They've been out with injury. We'll see where they're at with them ones. This is their last game with Belieber, but I think he still hasn't gone to AFCON, I think I'm right in saying, so he's around. What they do have, and it'll be interesting to see how Liverpool come up against this, Luke, in terms of our options, and we'll speak about in the second half, so, but they have pace out wide, regardless of who plays, Mitoma, Minter. Like, they always, they're a team who looks to get it wide, really, and go from there. I think in the last game, it was the Kuiper, is it, who played? Like, they constantly rotate on those flanks, and their aim is play through the middle, get it to the wingers, and we saw them counter-attack Liverpool. Again, Sam mentioned before plenty of times. Mitoma in particular has had good success, but Mint he's took that. I think this season he's took that little step. You can see why Liverpool were interested in him by all accounts towards the end of the last window, wasn't it? When he ends up having to be sold by Newcastle, like they are threatening in wide areas.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you come into, he sort of started on fire, didn't he? And like all the Newcastle fans were always like, God, why have they got rid of this lad? 'Cause he's almost sold to balance the books. Wasn't he?
What it was? It was a PSR.
It was a PSR sort of thing to balance the books. And I think the fella, he's sort of like hot and cold. Like when he's on his game, he can cause a lot of issues and be sort of unbelievable. But then sort of he can go missing for a couple of games as well. That's sometimes correct when you're reliant on your pace. However, pace is going to cause us issues, especially if we're going to play this diamond, this narrow that we've played in Milan. It'd be interesting to see if that's a tweak or if he's going to stick with it. If we do play that and we tell the fullbacks they can get on, then his pace on the turnover might cause us a lot of problems, and especially obviously with them loading and putting the balls into the box. We've been poor from set pieces and crosses, never mind defending them. That's definitely going to cause us issues. In my opinion, it's a shout for Andy Robbo to start the game, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. I think
just to add to that as well, I think with the way that they play, Minter, it's the perfect club for him, just on him particularly because they're so hot and cold, like you just said, Luke. I think that Brighton's a perfect club to develop at. He was never going to get in the side at Newcastle over the likes of Murphy and obviously even at Amaran. Is it Amaran? Amaran? Can't remember what his name was. The one who's not there anymore, the right winger. I think him going there is the perfect place. I think players like Caicedo, even McAllister, you look at Belieber now, a lot of people are interested in. It's the perfect place to go and play football, play once a week and develop. So I think you're getting a lot of hot and cold from Minter at the minute, but that's the right place for him to get better. And he could end up at Liverpool in 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised, but he just needs to get rid of that inconsistency.
Yeah, again, we just need time, doesn't it? Like you're saying, like I think looking back at the Newcastle team now, you probably get a good couple of games in it, but at the time you need that move just to get yourself minutes. Almost like what Harvey Elliott's trying to do right now, but he just can't get it done. And
then the last thing we mentioned before, set pieces, they have got good delivery, and their second Premier League top goal scorer is the centre half. Actually, it goes to kind of show you they've got there's a lot of lads with goals in the Premier League for Brighton, but actually not. It's been all Welbeck and then shared out with everyone else. So Van Hecker's next with 3. I think he scored. He scored against Villa, didn't he, again? So he's him and Lewis Dunk. It seems like they've been a regular partnership at the back for them. So you are right though, Sam. They in terms of the set pieces, they're definitely a threat, but also it does still feel like they can't. If you press well, you might get a chance off Brighton. They can play through you, and they're really good, but also, again, you saw against Man United, they do have it in them where they can just give you one as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. They're like Man City light in a lot of ways. They like to play balls through the thirds. They've got wide men who they like to get on the ball and get at the full back. They've got a striker who's eating up all the goals and got a really, really, really high conversion rate. And then the second, well, to be fair, Foden's really stepped out to them recently. But until recently, it was like Diaz and own goal was second highest score. Yeah. So they've always been a bit of a Man City light, haven't they, as a team in general. But you know what? You know what you're getting with Brighton. Like, they're not going to come and do anything wildly different. They believe in what they believe in. And as I say, I've got a lot of respect for the manager. He's a young lad who's, he's younger than me. It's frightening. And he's doing so well, and he's got a big future ahead of himself. And I like the club. I like the way, I like what they're doing, apart from what's recently come to light. But that's a different conversation about the owner. But even still, the data that sits behind everything that they've done, they're just a respectful club that you could say are doing the right thing. So I've got a lot of time for them, but let's just hope we turn it on Saturday afternoon.
He's younger than me as well, by the way.
Sorry, Steve.
32. Oh.
You're younger than me as well, though, Steve.
Like Premier League managers, geez, who are younger than us, that's the thing. He's younger than James Milner, isn't he? And he might be in his team. It's crazy. Footy's crazy, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, they're a very good team, Brighton, and like I say, every game we've had, I can't remember the last time, either way, I remember going to their place and they battered us when they had Alexis in midfield. Like they ran rings,
3-0 was it?
And then they beat us in the cup like a couple of weeks later. Since then, that was when the wheels were kind of falling off under Jürgen. And since then, it's been very, very close games every single time. It's been a really, really tough one, and probably we're expecting the same on Saturday afternoon. Right then, before we go to our break, I've got 2 prize draws, guys, to do for our Red Men Legends. Get on these, by the way. I think these are cool. We're going to give away these pin badges. I don't know if you can see them there. Highlighting each of Liverpool's European Cup wins. We're going to give some of them to one of our Red Men Legends subscribers, and we're also going to give a copy of Jürgen Klopp, Power of the Collective, by our good friend Adam Beattie. So they're today's 2 prize draws. I'm in this. I feature in that one as well. I'm in this, so thanks Adam for featuring. So let's do the draw now. Let's bring it up on the screen if you don't mind, please, Bobby. So spin number 1, one of our Red Men Legends is going to win the pin badges. Well done, congratulations. These are on the way to you. Gochers 94.
Boss.
I don't know what that means, but congratulations, Mr. or Mrs. Gochers. And then next draw is for the book. Let's spin it. There we go. Well done. Nice one. Congratulations as well to you. Foxmeister. There's some good usernames. Fantastic. Two of our Red Men Legends, 2 more prizes. So that is, I think we're up to 12 we give away now, if my maths is correct. There's still 13 more to give away. Let Paul Machin explain what's coming up in the prize draws, and after that break, we will be here discussing Liverpool's team. So let's have a message from Paul.
Hey, what's happening? Have you checked out our incredible Red Men Advent giveaway yet? No? Well, let me explain a little bit about it. We are knee deep in amazing Liverpool prizes. We are in full swing here at Red Men HQ. 1 week down, but 3 weeks of amazing prizes still to go. We have got a Champions League final 2005 replica shirt signed by Vladdy Schmeiser. Yes, that can be yours. And we've still got the King Dingling of prizes, Rome 84 replica shirt signed by King Kenny Dalglish and Bruce Grobbelaar as well. Arguably the greatest ever Liverpool footballer and manager in one package, and the most famous goalkeeper in a European Cup final of all time, Bruce Grobbelaar. This absolute beauty of a shirt will be drawn on Christmas Day. So plenty of amazing prizes to get yourself stuck in with. We've got badges, we've got books, we've got loads of Liverpool themed things, and those major prizes still to give away. So head to redmenplus.com today, sign up as a Legend tier subscriber, and get your names in the draw.
Yes, welcome back. If you sign up to Redmen Plus as a Legend subscriber over the course of the weekend, you could win that Vladimir Schmeiser signed shirt that will be given away on Monday. And then towards Christmas Day, we're giving that shirt signed by King Kenny and by Bruce Grobbelaar as well. So redmenplus.com. Become a legend now, and you'll be in all of those draws. We're doing 1 draw every single day, pretty much, up until Christmas Day. Sometimes, like today, we have to double up. It depends on the schedule, but you get where I'm coming from. Right then, guys, let's talk about the Reds. Let's set the scene. I'll go first. Arne Slot's press conference today. Defo no Gakpo. Defo no Endo. I don't know if the latter would have played too much, but he's unavailable. Conor Bradley suspended. Definitely no Conor Bradley. Alexander Isak took a knock. Wait and see where he's at, depending on that. Although the manager did say, he expects to see loads more of Isak and Ekitike in the same team going forward.
He played like 20 odd minutes second half, didn't he? So
maybe we'll see how he goes. He said he took a knock in the first half and then carried on. So
you'd be surprised.
You'd be shocked if he's unavailable. And then, of course, the elephant in the room is Mo Salah, which he said he's going to have a conversation with him today. So as it stands, we are currently recording this at 10:20 a.m. UK time. So something's changed. You know more than us. Then that's what it is. But as it stands, we don't know. On Mohamed Salah is where we're at. So that's where we're going.
Do you think the club know already before? I know they're going to have talks there, but do you think the club know?
I think the ideal would be if he says sorry, he can play. I think it's that. But again, it's just speculation. It might just be a case of the say, listen, mate, go to AFCON and we'll see you in a few weeks and go and get you there. I don't know, but whatever it is, at this moment in time, we're going to have to assume that he's probably not going to be in the 11. I would guess, but I don't know.
He's not going to start. He might if he's in the squad, but he's not going to go from 3 games not starting, kicking off, and then lad, you're back in after we've just won in Milan. I can't see that.
What do you reckon the worst situation is? I reckon the worst situation is he apologises, he goes on the bench, then he doesn't come on again. I reckon that's got to be the worst one.
That could genuinely happen though, because
if
we're winning 1-0, you do not bring Salah on.
No, I don't. Yeah, well, the worst is the big fight.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Someone ends up in Aussie.
So there's almost like if I'm starting, I'll play.
You can't.
I'll say sorry if I'm playing.
Yeah, and am I going to be in year 11 if I say sorry? No, then.
Then I'll stand out in training and watch everyone else. You know what I mean, against the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. Diane says, we don't need the Salah situation to drag on and overshadow everything else. That's kind of it. I think I wouldn't be shocked. And again, you might know more by the time this comes out. If they clear the air and go, listen, we're not going to play him at the weekend. He's going to go to AFCON. He'll come back and it'll all be fine again. I wouldn't be. I don't know. If I'm honest, there's an equal world where he never plays for us again. Like I said before on the last show, he's like Schrodinger's Salah at the moment. Like everything's on the table from he never plays again, so he's playing at the weekend.
It's going to be EastEnders, isn't it? Because either way, like imagine he's not in the team, right? So he doesn't apologise. He's not in the team, but he's still going to go to the game, like he's already said. Mate, if he's stood there on the balcony clapping, making sure everyone can see him, like honestly,
he'll come out if that's the case. I think
Sky needs to get it on telly. So change the games.
I think the problem with him moving forward will be not that he can say something and come back. Is that if he says sorry, you were right. Yeah, I should never have said that to everybody. I should, disrespect the club, the fans, blah 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 blah. Forget all the outside noise for a minute. I shouldn't have said I don't have to train for my shirt. I've been thrown under the bus. Blah blah blah. Say apologise for all that, even to the fans, the club. Mo Salah will still not be a sub.
Yeah,
which is going to be his role moving forward because he doesn't do the graft anymore, and that's just the way where we're at. So that's why I'm surprised that, like, if apology or not, what happens next? Because he weren't in the team for a reason, and we've just won a game and we haven't lost in 4. It's a big ask to just go U-turn. Okay, I'll be a squad player.
Yeah, it might just be that you say to him, listen, you go on the bench the weekend. We'll see where we go, and then we'll cross this bridge. AFCON actually might help, and we'll cross this bridge when you're back from international team. But yeah, we don't know at this moment in time, so that's where we're at.
That's wild.
That's where we're at with what's going on. He did say, like I said, there's been conversations, hasn't he, with his representatives and with Liverpool, which maybe suggests some other stuff. I don't know, but that's where we are with the Salah stuff now. So park that one there. The first question, and one that we very rarely have to ask, Lou, I'll be honest, it's like, what formation are we going to play? Because usually we just sit here and go, it's 4-3-3, let's fit 11 lads into this team. We know 5 or 6 of them, and we're just going to go round the fringes. The first question is the manager going to go stick with what worked in Milan, which was an away European game, which, by the way, he was down on forwards, or is he going to go back to his usual tried and tested 4-3-3? What's your gut feeling on that one?
I think he'll move back to the 4-3-3. I think it was more of a tactical tweak in Milan and the limited number of options. However, I think Brighton just causes too many issues. I think there was too many instances where Inter Milan would get the ball at the back and carry it 20-30 yards into midfield. And that was when the press was lacking. I felt the press was great for the first 20, but then we seemingly just fell off a cliff. You had McAllister essentially playing the Firmino role in the press, and then also getting back to play the front end of the diamond. It was a weird shape, but I also think the shape between sort of Gravenberch to the other midfielders pressing, there was just too much empty space, and I think Brighton would exploit that. So I would like to see him go back to the 4-3-3. However, like I'm open to him trying it. I'm not against him trying something new. You know what I mean? Because we do need something new.
I was thinking he might stick with it, depending again on this Isak thing, but put Wirtz in ahead of Alexis at 10, and Wirtz can lead the press.
Yeah. Because
Ekitike kind of did the Isak token gestures, but I think with Wirtz and Sobo, maybe there. So I don't know. Is my answer, but again, we haven't got that many wingers. So,
no,
so if you're going to play 4-3-3 with you're looking at Szoboszlai and Wirtz, who aren't wingers anyway, or young Rio and Gamoa, or Chiesa, who's been ill and never plays anyway. Or Mo Salah goes from pressing the nuclear button a week ago to being back in the team. There are no options really on the wide play. It just makes me think he might go again with it. I don't know.
And also, we all know now, which drives us mad, because Chiesa is a good winger. I don't care what anyone says, but he likes him as a striker. So actually having Chiesa in means you can replace a striker at some point in the game and keep the exact same shape. I think if the game would have been 5 weeks on Tuesday or 3 weeks on, Wirtz just plays where Maka plays. I think he was in a holding position, Maka, because you can't play him in the 2 because he's just not got no legs to do that anymore. Let's just be real for a minute. And I just think that Wirtz, maybe it was just one game too many, and the Leeds game was a bit rough after a while.
Well, the manager literally said he's been injured and he's played every game.
So I think that system with Wirtz in, I actually quite liked it. You were at the game, Luke, and I always say to people, because I don't go to away games anymore, but when you watch the game at Anfield, I had a totally different view of how Sunderland approached the game to a lot of the lads who watch it on telly. So they pushed their fullbacks up, but you can't always see that on Sky, and pushed our wingers back, which made the game hard as a press. So, but you don't always see that on Sky with all the replays and flickings to this person, that person. I think from what I saw on telly, I quite liked what I saw, but you saw the bigger picture. So that's interesting that you've got a different view on it. So I was with Steve until you said that. Like, I quite liked the system. I think going to the mid-block was probably by design, as opposed to like they ran out of steam, if you know what I mean.
And also, by the way, it's worth mentioning, I need to say, like, they played a lot of games in a short period of time. And I don't know if you can just can you go to San Siro and press for 90 minutes?
Yeah, maybe.
Run after playing, if he played 3 games in 6 days or whatever before, Salah's kick-off, he was on the bench for 3 times in 6 days.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, and then all of a sudden, 2 days later, you're going to Italy. So maybe it was a legs thing.
4 in 10, wasn't it? 4 in 10. I'm playing 5 and 14 by Saturday. It's nuts, that.
Yeah, there's a lot of footage.
We're the only team that's done 3 and 7 this season. And don't half get shafted. It's just when you need a bit of break.
Again, that's why the manager said today, I'm not that arsed. I'll be out the League Cup because I'll get the lads to get to a rest after this. It goes to a game a week, so we'll see. With that being said, then, the back 3 of the back 4 picked themselves, because Gomez, Ibu and Van Dijk are going to play. We know that there's no real other options with Bradley's suspension, which is a shame. Left back's his only call, Sam, and only tipped his hand there. He'd go Robbo again. He's got the option of Kirkes and Robertson now. What do you think?
For me, I think where Robbo's played well this season, so I'll pick out 3 games. Inter Milan, Villa, and Real Madrid. In all 3 of those games, the opposition didn't really pose a proper right winger, and I think we knew that going into the game. So what that allows Robbo to do is not get 1v1 too much. And then you look at the game like against Chelsea, where he was just blown when he come on. Yeah. He got done a few times early in the season on the way back. I thought against PSV when he came on, he just got walked past Forest by their right winger, and then obviously they scored the goal. And no, I'm not saying it was all his fault all these times, but I think it's a clear bit of evidence where if they've got a quick winger, a la Madueke for Arsenal, Kirkes is far better at slowing them down. He's not been amazing. Let's not have it. I think he's improved a bit recently, but I think Kirkes being able to go yard for yard with a winger will slow them down enough to get support. So Minte going down that right side, which is where he plays a lot. I think Kirkes is more suited to playing against him than Robbo. I just think he'll get skinned. So for me, my choice would be for this game would be Kirkes, but from a leadership perspective, I completely see where you come from, because I thought he was really, really solid midweek.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think I think I would probably go Kirkes for the pace. It is
purely for speed.
Because Liverpool they have got pace, and Gomez and Kirkes is probably the quickest 2 full-backs. Yeah. Obviously, for Frimpong's injured. I mean, Gomez has to be right back, but on at the left-hand side, I think I tend to agree. I see the value of Andy Robbo in certain situations, but I think this is the type of lad who caused us so many issues that we went and bought Kirkes. Robbo last year, it was the pacey wingers who were causing me the problem. So, and also, if you're worried about the amount of games you're playing, that is one area you can freshen up. There aren't too many options elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like, if you're looking at, I don't want to play the same team again, because that feels, it almost feels like you have to make a couple of changes when you play so many matches. The left back one is kind of one area where it's almost a free to go, well, that's an obvious change, but perhaps.
Yeah, I think, Simon used it if he was to start Kirkes. it will be interesting if he plays that narrow to see how much freedom he has to overlap.
Yeah.
Because Cody Gakpo doesn't pass on the ball, but thankfully Cody Gakpo's not playing.
It's mad.
It's crazy, but like, he might have a bit more freedom and get in a few more opportunistic areas. And if it is very narrow, you basically have the whole left side to operate in, which could be an interesting sort of factor. I was speaking to a few people yesterday who were saying, sort of Frimpong on the other side, that would also be really interesting when he's back fit. I also thought when Bradley come on against Inter, his pace added quite a lot to the game. It's a shame that we can't play him this weekend.
It's just, again, typical of our season, isn't it? Literally.
Just a stupid booking that he got himself.
In the middle of the park, going nowhere.
I said I had half a feeling that he'd done that on purpose, but because I thought genuinely, my thinking when he'd done that was, well, he's going to play on Tuesday again and then have the weekend off, but actually didn't play on Tuesday. He got off the bench, so I don't know. But anyway, he's I think we're half in agreement a little bit there. Midfield's mad because again depends on the formation, but I still believe, Sam, that it's going to be Gravenberch, Jones, Szoboszlai and Wirtz are all going to play.
I think so.
It just depends whether it's as a diamond or with Wirtz stuck out on the left, because I'm with you. I think if you're picking this team on form, it is Alexis who probably goes to the bench, because Curtis and Szoboszlai thought were the two best players in midweek, and they I love Curtis's answer in the press conference, like, do you like the diamond? He was like, yeah, could I play? And it's sound, and he did, and they both played very, very well.
Yeah, I think Curtis is a brilliant player. What he does is when he has, he gets too many little knocks and he misses 2-3 weeks, and then he comes back and he dawdles a bit. That's just the pattern, and loads of players do that, by the way. But obviously, we watch him under our microscope because we're Liverpool fans, and he's one of us. So we kind of push him. Come on, Curtis, do well. So you watch him a bit more, maybe a little bit more extra critical of him. But I think he's a fantastic player, and he's fit now, and he's been in the team, and you saw his impact against Sunderland, the way he drove and won, give the ball to Wirtz, and we got the goal. You've seen loads of times. I thought when he came on against Arsenal this year, he was really strong at Anfield. I think he's a brilliant footballer, and I think it's a disgrace he's not in the England squad. However, we're not asked, but he will be.
Yeah.
So I think him and Grav were brilliant. I mean, you mentioned him and Sobbo. I thought Grav was class as well, and I thought Grav was class against Leeds until he decided to arm the ball to their player. But I thought maybe he was a little bit slow for the second goal. But I thought he was good against Leeds. I think he was really good against West Ham as well. Sunderland, we were all a bit sluggish. I think he's getting his form back a touch. But they're on the same wavelength. Watch how Curtis and Grav play the ball through the channels to each other, and watch how Curtis drops deep, swaps places with Gravenberch and plays vertical balls through the lines to him. It happens a lot, and we don't do enough of that. McAllister has really reined them in. He doesn't do it anymore, and we need that, because if you're going to play the likes of Florian Wirtz and you're going to have strikers, whether it's Ekitike, Isak or one of them, you've got to get the ball in early.
I thought Curtis first half at Inter Milan, receiving the ball on the back foot almost looked like Ryan Gravenberch last season. A few of them turns he put on and just played the forward pass straight away and fired it off, because we looked so dangerous early on, and then obviously we moved to that sort of mid-block. But I think, if you can play that against Brighton and split the lines, and we are going to have a bit more space to operate in, you can definitely put Ekitike in, through a few times, and hopefully put a few on a play for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he has to play. And what he does, again, if it is the diamond, the issue with the diamond sometimes is it can be narrow, and someone's got to come out and get the ball. He is more than comfortable just going to left back. He done that loads. Robbo pushed on a little bit. Curtis just dropped in and got the ball off Virgil, and then you can
just to answer that, he said he played the same system against Leeds. But what happens obviously in the game is sometimes he goes from a diamond to a square to a slightly more trapeze. The four can rotate in different ways depending on where the other team's set up. So if Brighton don't usually go around the sides, do they? They're not a full back winger. They're through the middle. So hopefully if we do clog up the middle, even if Wirtz plays off the left, Luke is going to tug in, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
And Sobbo on the right. So we're going to be quite narrow, I think, either way, regardless to how we set up. So I think it'll be interesting to see what they do to sort of try and compensate that, because I've never really seen them go full back winger box.
No, it's usually through the middle and wide. So it's the midfielder's job. Usually the midfielders get in, he's got 3 options, and he can go wherever. That's tends to be what they do. So I think we'd all agree those are going to play. That'll be the team. And then it's just what he does up front. He mentioned today again, it might depend on the Isak knocks on, but so I'm guessing really it's whether if Isak's available, he probably starts both of them again.
Yeah.
And if he's not available, he's got a decision to make. This is where you're looking. He could play Alexis again and just use Florian Wirtz as one of the front two, which is kind of what he said he did at Leeds, or a little bit similar. Wirtz was the second forward option there as a striker. He's got Chiesa if he wants to play with a winger. He's just or Rio,
front,
and then you end up as a 4-3-3. Or that's the third option is. And Chris Page has been making this point to me for ages. He says he thinks Arne Slot just sees Chiesa as a striker, and he's the backup striker to the two we've got. So. First job, we're all hoping Isak's fit, and we think he'll start if he is. But if he's not, that's the question, isn't it? Who's number 11? And it's one of
It's Mo Salah, isn't it?
Maybe. If Mo says Soz, then maybe it's either.
Imagine.
But my guess is it's probably Alexis or Chiesa, and you'd always, at this point in time, give the nod to Alexis because he doesn't pick Chiesa at all.
Yeah, I agree. But just very quickly on that, I've watched Paul Dalglish. I think he's brilliant on the Red Men shows. I really enjoy his view as a manager, coach, Prem player. People forget that sometimes about Paul because his dad's Kenny. I really enjoy watching his little views on the game. And one thing he said about 3 weeks ago about our system, and he's been pushing for this, and I'm on board with it as well, this system that we've been playing. Is this what the plan was? But we don't need to play Mo right wing. We've just had to because we haven't had the system set up right. The way Mo can get back in this team and do what Mo does best is playing in one of those front two positions. Yeah. That's for me the only way he can be Mo Salah. He's acted around that much. A bit more than Mo, but not that much. Mo can probably do that, and he's on the end of it. He's the last man. So there is a world where, in an alternative universe, where it all goes rosy this morning. They're all having breakfast in the canny, laughing their heads off now, you know what I mean? And then he plays next to Ekitike. That could happen.
Yeah.
It's the only way I see him come. I don't think we go back to the system because Mo's back in, because I think we need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Need to stop building the Mo Salah team. We need to make Mo Salah fit what we're trying to do forward. So if Mo plays, I wouldn't be surprised if it is in the front two. But there's no way in a million years Chiesa is playing on the wing. I'll put any money you want down that we do not play 4-3-3 with Chiesa on the wing. Not happening.
I think so too. I think if Isaac can't play, Luke, I think he goes to Alexis and he just moves Verts one up. Would you tend to?
Yeah, I'd probably say. But yeah, I mean, I said to you upstairs before, Steve, when you say Jack and Chiesa plays, I was like, not a chance.
No,
I see a
yeah,
world
so
where he bids Federico Chiesa.
Yeah.
So I'd be more with you. You'd probably put Verts up top and then put Maka behind. Well, to be fair, I'd probably swap Maka and Sobbo around. I think that's the more sensible thing to do. But obviously,
he's got no legs at the minute.
Maka would have to go out wide then, wouldn't he? That'd be tough.
You'd have to do a bit. Yeah, you have to cover a little more ground.
He's really struggling this season. It's one of the underreported things of this year. Again, and he's played a lot of footy, and he ended last season with an injury. And again, another lad who didn't have a proper pre-season, but I think the inability for Alexis to run around, and I think it's no surprise he goes at the tip of the diamond.
Yeah,
I think it's because it's almost like get out the way. And I get out, we're going to protect you a little bit. It has definitely been a sort of nice impact on Liverpool for sure. Right then, what I'm going to do before we go and get your score predictions and stuff, lads, I am going to just bring first up the Premier League table as it stands. Liverpool in 10th, Brighton in 8th. Here we go. We're in a big battle there for this top 4 ring. The title race, though, Sam, all of a sudden it's got a little bit interesting. And Arsenal's lead is now 2 points. Again, we say this all the time, but it just feels at this moment in time, if City get back in front at some point, I would worry for Arsenal. And I'm just looking ahead to the fixtures, who plays who this weekend. You'd expect...
Arsenal are going to beat Wolves. Don't even say that.
Well, that's the point. Arsenal are going to beat Wolves at home, but then City have to go to Palace. Yeah. That's no bad at all. If I'm Arsenal, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is a chance for us to get that lead back up to 5 points again very, very quickly. You wouldn't be totally shocked if City lost at Palace.
No, but I'll start off with this, how bad Wolves are. Right, in my kids' footy team, because of the age we're at, if you go more than 3 goals down, you can put an extra player on. If Wolves did that at the weekend, they still wouldn't beat Arsenal. I watched them against United. They're all over the place. So that's one thing. Arsenal are going to win that game 2-0, but bore the life out of everyone. But they're just going to take the energy out the game. City, the only thing with Palace is they're just getting. Have you seen their schedule? Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday.
Week away, didn't we?
But they're playing. Was it away? Was it?
Yeah.
How did they get on?
I think they won 3-0. They're playing Shelbourne, but he played quite a lot of the first team.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But he's got to, because he's lost a few games.
Yeah.
So they've got Thursday, Sunday, Saturday, Tuesday, because they had to shift it all forward because of Christmas.
Yeah.
Because they're not allowed to play Christmas Eve anymore.
And they're through in the cup.
Yeah.
By knocking us out. Yeah. And they've got AFCON to deal with as well. Where's the legs at? But then,
I think you'll start. My dad's been saying this to me for ages. Palace will fall off. And they've had little results in that because they've got a good system. But I think City winning on the Wednesday away at Madrid, I didn't think they played that well, if I'm being honest. It was more Madrid's own doing. But they won. The confidence boost you get from that. I think they'll go there and do a job. But here's the thing. Next weekend, City play against West Ham at home on the Saturday, 3 o'clock, and Arsenal go away to Everton. Arsenal could be second by the time kick-off. that's when Arteta's ever roll off like a Lego piece.
We'll see how they pan on over the course of the year.
But yeah, who Villa got this weekend? Don't rule them out.
I was going to say, well, they go to West Ham.
Yeah, they'll win that.
And then I was looking at in terms like
we win at West Ham.
In terms of
exactly.
in terms of Champions League chasing or European teams, Chelsea host Everton. They're both above us at this moment in time. I mean, everyone's above us over towards Everton.
Have you just said European chasing Everton? Is that Chelsea? I was going to say.
Listen, the Blues are there.
As it stands, they're seventh. They're right there. Listen, Everton are only
it's a hard life, you know. It's a hard life.
Everton are only 2 points off fourth. Don't rule them out as well. And then actually, Man United are very much back in that mix. They host Bournemouth. They'll lose. I can guarantee you now. Bournemouth will beat them.
I think it's a tough game for them.
And then it's Sunderland at the derby. So
this weekend,
I'm really ashamed that's not Saturday half 12, you know, because it's Sunday 2 o'clock in it. Like Saturday half 12 would have been great. Pub early, our match after it would have been Sunday.
There is no half 12 on Saturday this weekend. It's the 8 o'clock because the Arsenal European thing.
So is it Arsenal at home to Wolves?
It's 8 o'clock.
That's poor Wolves, man. Under the lights,
that's the other TV game. But what I would say, going back to the Reds on this one, Luke, very quickly, if they can beat Brighton, obviously they will go above Brighton. There's going to be some teams above them, like one of Chelsea and Everton, at least they're going to drop points. You know, one of you were obviously Palace and City in and around at this moment in time, which is mad. One of them are going to drop points a little bit as well. There is scope for this table to change very, very quickly. Everyone's going, oh my God, Liverpool are 10th, what's going on? One win and you could be 5th. It's crazy how this league, how tight it is at this moment in time.
It's mad that it's like one win, you can be 5th, and we will be really happy with 5th, but at one point we were on 100% record.
Well, for what it's worth, one loss and you could be 13th.
One loss and you might be gone. So let's hope not.
Yeah, exactly. It's just mad.
It is so tight with how the whole league is panning out.
I think as well. You know what would be great is if, I know obviously I've been laughing there about City and Arsenal. You know, City going above Arsenal because we all want them to fall off, don't we? We're all in the same boat because of Arteta. But if those two lost the game, so say for instance City lost to Palace and then Arsenal lost to Everton, which very viable results, or drew, what it does to the league is, because they take us out of the equation because everyone says we're crap, stop talking about Liverpool. Go say teams that are 7 and 8 points behind Arsenal and City at 5 and 6 points behind City, if they suddenly go 3 or 4, your title race then goes from Arsenal all the way down to Everton. You know, and they're not going to win the league, and I think that the league's had it from sort of 16th, 17th, all the way through to sort of 4th, 3rd. But if those two were to drop points in the next couple of games again, because Arsenal's run of games is quite tough next 4, then after Wolves, then it means that there's teams suddenly can win 3 back-to-back and find themselves top. And I think it'd be great if the league had that. Just one more drop of points to both of them, and teams will start being able to jump up and down.
Them.
Aston Villa,
or go above them before they play and all that.
Aston Villa are banging that one if that happens. For what it's worth, we all know this is panning out. Wolves aren't going to win a game.
Wolves aren't going to. No, I mean the week after though. Arsenal.
No, what I'm saying is Wolves aren't going to win, and then they play us on the 27th.
No.
Do you know
how many players they've got going to AFCON?
I know.
5.
They are.
It doesn't matter, mate.
It does. They've got no squad.
It doesn't matter. Honestly, they'll turn up at Anfield Boxing Day, and they'll be the best thing since sliced bread. They'll be unbelievable.
I hope they don't play Boxing Day like
the dog and duck.
I hope they do turn up Boxing Day.
I reckon the dog and duck give us a game at this moment in time. The Reds, but Wolves are, as it stands, they're on course to be the worst Premier League team.
So bad.
They've got 2 points. They're on course to be the worst of all time. And I think Arsenal will beat them, but not like everyone's going like 6-7.
Oh no, but 2-0
they'll just knock the ball.
But Man U, Mason Mount was running the game round like I do in my kids' training session because I'm like 25 years older than everybody. But honest to God, he was like pinging it round, zinging it like he was Zidane. That's how bad Wolves are.
Back to the Reds then before we round up. So
do we have to?
I'm going to guess, by the way, on that, I should say before we move, I think both Arsenal and City win, and they just knock this can down the road, and then the rest, they've got no idea. Because everyone around,
I think Villa win.
If you look at the top 10 almost, they're all playing each other. You've got City, Palace, you've got us versus Brighton. I know Newcastle aren't quite there, but they're very close. They're playing Sunderland. Everyone is in those fixtures. It's only really Aston Villa who've got the West Ham thing to deal with, and even West Ham have been a bit better, but yeah, it's going to be crazy how this pans out. Liverpool could be anywhere from 5th to 13th.
Yeah.
By the way, how this weekend goes, it's absolute bananas how the table's looking. On that though, where are they going to be then, Sam? So, I don't know if this is the right word. I don't know if confidence is the right word, but because I don't think anyone's that confident in the Reds at this moment in time, despite midweek. But my hope is Brighton are the type of team who aren't going to do the things that really, really, really hurt us. So I'm tipping the Reds to squeak out a Navy 2-1. What are your thoughts?
See, I was thinking 2-0 as we were just talking. Me only. This is very pragmatic of me, which I'm not usually the way. Is that I don't think we've got a leads in us where we can see and just fall apart because we're not at Brighton or we're not at Ellen Road. Ellen Road's a fortress. Let's not play that down. Was you there, Luke?
Yeah, I took
rough, innit?
I took loads of grief because I said I want Leeds relegated, and you're like, why do you want Leeds relegated? Ellen Road's an amazing atmosphere, and I went, that's exactly why.
It's an away game. You don't know. No, exactly.
Easy.
So
Reading away.
I think we could be 2-0 up and Canate give a daft penalty again, but I don't think it has the same impact as Ellen Road. Yeah. So I think the way we've gone into the last 4 matches, Sunderland took a real strange run of mistakes and deflections to concede a goal. I think we'll score 2 because I think Brighton aren't as good defensively as some of the low blocks we've played. Yeah, I would like to think 2-0, but I think more realistically something wild happens and it ends up 2-1 and we sneak out just and we get on a roll again.
Danny Welbeck scores.
I think we're all the same. I said 2-1 yesterday as well, and it was like I was going for stats for once because I've had some terrible predictions this season.
Do you keep picking us to win?
Really awful ones.
Do you keep picking us to win?
Shock.
That's why they're bad, because you keep saying we're going to win.
Well, no, like there's been over 2.5 goals in the last 8 games. Like both teams have scored in the last 6. There's going to be goals in the game, and I am really surprised it's not on telly because like it's always a cracking game.
Yeah, I agree. I think this since PSV, where I think that's when the manager realised I need to do something or I'm going to lose my job. Liverpool have been much more pragmatic. I think it's obvious to see that they have so. That's why Salah hasn't played. Mm-hmm. I think the manager saw that halfway line challenge that Mo Salah didn't put in and thought, I can't. I'm going to lose my job. If I do something here, we have to stop conceding goals. And like I go back to it, it worked at West Ham. It worked at Sunderland. It went in off fucking Virgil's arse, and then it was going absolutely fine until Ibu just brain fart, and then it worked in Milan. So we aren't conceding chance after chance and going off the goal. But I do believe, I think Brighton have got a little bit enough quality in them to do something. But
I think this is a game for Vert. I think they will leave enough space for Vert to pull strings because they're not just going to go. We're going to sit in. They're going to play their way. And I think that'll suit Vert.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone will be following him around all game, like Xhaka was, which was mad, by the way. At the game, and you just literally saw Xhaka like Rice did. That's how good Vert is, by the way. That teams are literally putting Declan Rice and Xhaka, the 2 best players and leaders of their team. You're not playing today, mate. You're watching him.
Yeah, just follow him around.
I think I don't know about that. So I think we're all going 2-1. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because we'll see how it goes. Thanks very much, guys, for coming in. Do appreciate it. All you guys, we will have a watch along for the game as well. Yeah, like I say, 3 o'clock kickoff. So we'll be live from an hour and 20 minutes before. So that is 20 to 2. We're after the team news. We'll bring you the entire coverage of the game, of course, and then a bit of post-match analysis, both from Anfield with Chloe and from the studio with myself. So yeah, do come and check that out. Nice one to Luke, nice one to Sam, nice one to you guys for watching or listening. Catch you all next time.